And I've tried to turn the flowers in a way so you don't see that they're already molding. But if you can still see it in the video and you're afraid of mold, then don't watch the video. By the way, if you get afraid when you see something that you can just throw in the garbage, you're weird. Anyway, that actually fits the theme of this video perfectly, because it is about comment culture and not wasting your time on social media. I hope you're not using TikTok, so let me explain to you what it is. It's like Twitter, but with pictures and videos and a lot of young people. You see why it's not fun? Yeah. Horrific comment culture. A lot of people who get offended easily and take pride in things that are not accomplishments, in traits of their personalities, mental disorders as labels, their sexuality. They identify as, I don't know, animals now. And all of this are things. Being stupid is a thing, except it's not a thing. You cannot call anybody stupid anymore because that will be deleted. I actually made a whole podcast episode on how comments, including words like dumb and stupid, verifiably get deleted off of TikTok because that's mean. And you can't be mean in today's day and age. I'm not a fan of being an asshole online either. I don't think you should waste your time on trying to please people or trying to offend them, or trying to be nasty and then say, oh, it's my outlet, this is just how I do it, and if you don't like it, go away, it's my right to be a bitch. Yeah, it's your right, but if it's your right to shit on the street, do you do it? Does it make it a good thing? Like, it's your right to waste your time, it's your right to piss off people for no good reason, as in it helps other people, it makes this world a better place. That is a good reason. Everything else is not really a good reason. I mean, it might be a good reason for you, but inherently good means good for everyone or good for a lot of people, right? So in a way, I get it when people are upset when it comes to their personal beliefs, choices, freedoms, and social justice topics. I understand that. And for me, how I deal with comments today, that will probably be the only reason why I stop and just take time out of my day to type away on a tiny screen, just to find that the word limit limits my nuance too. So that alone is usually annoying enough for me to just move on. And I think that just moving on is the way to go, always, with all comments online. If you disagree with somebody, you will probably not change their mind by telling them why you think differently. People usually change their mind when they experience a situation in real life and feel what it is like to be on the other side of their former opinion. Like racism is a very good example, and that is actually where the woke culture comes from, with which I only partly agree, but I believe that in the beginning, woke ideology was a good idea. People were like, oh no, I understand what it feels like to be different, to look different and be treated differently. And that makes sense. It makes sense that you're completely unaware of that if you live in a mostly homogeneous society in which you don't stick out like a sore thumb. For instance, like a black person in an all-white society or majority white society. And I remember that experience because I lived through something not the same, but psychologically similar. I was born in the GDR, and the GDR was majority white, as in it was really rare to see, especially black people. But we had a lot of Vietnamese guest workers, so I was pretty used to that. And I was actually pretty sad when they all were forced to leave, more or less. Like, a lot of them were forced to leave after the wall came down. And I just thought, that was sad because the streets looked more homogeneous, more boring, if you will. Annotation here, I just really like all sorts of different cultures. I just like different foods. And I like to, in a way, appropriate those cultures, as in I find it super interesting to take all of it in, learn about it, even learn a language sometimes, learn to cook the food, stuff like that. I just like to take that all in, do it myself, and kind of just, feel the culture. But of course that works better if you have those people around you who are first generation immigrants and bring all that flavor with them. So now when I moved to West Germany, it's not really called that anymore, like Western Germany now. I don't know, but it's not the same as in Westdeutschland and Ostdeutschland anymore. But I came from Thuringia to Bavaria, and I felt like an alien. Everyone was like, "Where are you from? What is that accent? Oh, you speak German quite well for an Aussie." I was like, "What? Dude, I'm German. You're German. Like, shut the fuck up." But that was the first time I felt like an alien in my own country. And so partially, as in, I am not saying at all that I get it, but partially, yeah, I get it. Partially I get it, what that must feel like. And so I think initially it was a good thing that people were waking up to the struggle, trying to understand that more. But I just think that is covered by general empathy and being a nice person. So personally, I don't think it needs its own movement, but I guess it's okay that kids have things they fight for, things they stand for, good social justice causes, right? I mean, rather than drinking beer, I prefer that. But on social media, all of this is just exaggerated. It's not enough to be a little bit woke or culturally aware of things, to be a little bit more sensitized. No, you gotta be an activist. You gotta have an opinion on everything. You gotta have the right opinion, whatever that means. So I have totally just given up on that because I feel old. I feel like I will never have the right opinion on anything anymore. And my opinion is often quite ambivalent, because if I don't know everything about something, I cannot make up my mind immediately, be super opinionated and strong about it, and rub it in other people's faces. Like, I might need a few years to form a proper opinion. I'm not going to form a proper opinion right after I see one event and I think, oh, that seems unjust. I will still listen to the other side. And I feel like this has completely been lost. Everyone seems to want simple explanation for complex topics. Geopolitics. Just saying. One topic that I will stay forever out of on this channel. That and religion. No thanks. Everyone with every religion is welcome here, but religion is like a dick. It's okay to have one. You can be proud of it, you can make the most of what you got, but don't whip it out in public and don't stick it in other people's faces, especially small people. But anyway, apart from that, like, I understand where it comes from. I feel empathy covers actually most problems of humankind. If you just think about, what would I feel like if I was in that situation? Even with your political or opinion opponents, you will always be able to find a common ground. I really believe that. As in people I completely disagree with. For instance, we have a right-wing party here in Germany that I just really don't like. And when I hear the politicians talk, it's frustrating, and I find their opinions very, very simple. As someone who has worked with immigrants, I feel like they get a lot of things wrong, and their anti-immigrant narrative doesn't address the real problems. As in, like, it might be a problem that you have crimes committed by immigrants, or it might be a problem that immigrants don't live in safe places, and that leads to other problems, as in asylum seekers being not happy in the asylum building, setting mattresses on fire out of protest, or I don't know, some other stuff going on. But then the right-wingers come and say, look at these ungrateful immigrants. They set mattresses on fire because, well, there were bed bugs in those, or something like that. I don't actually know the story, but it's just an example, as in, you can disagree with them lighting the stuff on fire that they are supposed to sleep on, but you can also ask, why did they do that? Why were they so frustrated, even though they are here now, away from the war, safe? Why is it not enough? Maybe it is not enough. But we can also be like, maybe those right-wingers have a point. Maybe we need to look why this is happening and up security, or talk to these people so they don't do that anymore and they don't set on fire state property or something like that. But I'm sure if you really want to, you can always find a middle ground. You can always find a topic to talk about if you're just solution-oriented enough and not problem-oriented. We can describe the problem, we can whine about the problem. But if we're not talking solutions, then why are we talking at all? And I feel like on social media, this is just not the space where this will happen. This will happen only if multiple people come together, people with good idea, intelligent people who can actually voice their opinions in a respectful way, even though if those opinions can be a little bit offensive to some people, as in you will always offend a smaller group, but you should try to not offend most people, right? It's okay to offend a few people, you can never get it right for everyone, but in order to have a debate, all opinions need to be heard. It just needs to happen in a respectful manner. And I find that so incredibly difficult online. To convey a nuanced message, in my opinion, nearly impossible on TikTok. I even tried with some trash accounts that I have, as in talking about the daycare system in Germany and what's wrong with it, and stuff that is happening there that is not okay. And my comment section was full of people justifying everything with, we have so much work and we are so few workers. A thing that I have experienced firsthand in my former line of work as a nurse. So I'm not that empathetic if you are abusing your power, because I didn't have to abuse my power when I was in that position. So I don't feel it. But I could not get through to those people for the life of it. Nothing I would say would change their mind. So for some topics, I've just given up. I feel like however much nuance I try to put in these limited spaces, it will never cover everything that I think. And I believe that a good conversation, an evening-long conversation, can cover a lot of what you think, can cover a lot of your principles and your core values. And that is the kind of debate you need to have happen in order to make progress as humans, as cheesy as that sounds. Under my TikTok video, I got a little bit of shit for saying that I don't agree with online activism, as in the way it is happening now. But this is precisely the issue that I have with online activism. You don't step up to have the actual debates. You have debates with yourself, you're talking to a screen, you're reading some comments. It's not a real debate. You can spark debates in real life. You can inspire people to do some thinking. And that is good. And I think that is good kind of activism, to share your thoughts and to inspire people and to spread a good message. For example, like zero waste stuff. It's good to explain to people how zero waste works. That is the kind of activism that works online. But all the tolerance stuff, all the education, that is happening in schools, that is happening in everyday life, that is happening where people meet other people. Now back to comment culture. I have learned to just scroll past most comments. Unless I feel like, I don't know, it's easy or it's something I really have an expertise on and I know those people cannot come up with a real argument because I have argued this 100 times. Unless it's that, I just move on. And I recommend that to all of you, to learn how to be able to move on from a debate. If you find something you disagree with online and you feel like, I want to say something, just don't. Just don't. As in, 1 in 100 comments might be worth your time. Probably not, because not even enough people read it. So how does it even count? And it's also not good as a method to get it off your chest. Like how? Tell it to your partner. Tell it to your friend then. Tell what upsets you to someone who actually cares about you, because people online will not care about you. They do not matter in your everyday life. They do not pay your bills. They don't even help you pay your bills. They don't even help you to be in a better mood. And I say that as someone who often finds really friendly people in my community, the figure skating community, who help me out with tips and tricks and everything. Still, 1 hour with my coach is worth more. And I know that. And it's not mean to these people. It's no disrespect to them. It's just a difference between real life and online life. And if you have not come to understand that difference yet and to really grab onto the idea that everything of merit is happening offline, then you're just in denial. End of video. Go touch some grass.